Ah, come on!
That was... Yep. Did someone just say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. It was Edgy Boy. Wait, but that means... No. Edgeworth?
Your Honor, I object to your judgment.
What do you mean?
I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what?
Nick! Edgeworth is trying to confess. Make him shut the fuck up! He's going to say he's guilty! He's going to tell him he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell him he killed his own dad.
Uh-oh, what do I do? I mean, I guess I can raise an objection, but it's not gonna... This is the same thing that Karma did, basically. The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed.
Called it.
Yep. That would be Larry.
Mr. Butts.
We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. Yep.
For 15 years, I've had a reoccurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare, that's what I told myself. But now, I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer.
You mean in the incident where your father died?
From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6. The statute of limitations ends today. The culprit is me.
Rabble, 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 rabble. Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today.
How many different ways can you say the same fucking thing when it comes to this game?
74.
I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. It's obvious. We hold a trial right here, right now. We tried this man for his crime of 15 years ago.
Robber.
Oh, my God.
I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned.
I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort.
Yeah, you did.
Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you kill your dad?
I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances.
This is crazy. Just crazy.
Nick? What are you doing?
Huh? Oh. I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready.
Your case for what?
Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent.
What? What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it. In court.
I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare.
What?
It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me.
Right.
Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge! Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining.
You that mad because you just lost?
The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. On Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand?
Where do you want me to take it?
Will the witness state his name and profession?
Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney.
Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct?
It is correct.
You must really be asleep.
Then testify about this matter to the court.
I jabbed her lips with it like 6 or 7 times. I had to put it to her nose.
When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That'll be the key, but only if I can get it to work.
Yeah, but don't give us a clue as to what you're thinking, Phoenix. Please, please.
That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all.
God, imagine if every time I played that scream.
I hate that you just said that.
And until now, you thought this memory was a dream?
We were only stuck in the elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events.
Bah! The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Definitely need to press this.
Which trial?
What was the trial your father was involved in on that day?
I don't remember things very clearly. Only 2 things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney.
Mr. Von Karma? You were handling that case? It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. So, there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator?
Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help,
What did you do then?
I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then,
Just then... What was it?
a pistol. I assume it was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster.
And you picked it up. What happened next? Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it?
I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. At the disco.
So, you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi?
No, I threw Mr. Yogi at the pistol. I was in a daze.
The gun fired once?
Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day.
Nobody cares about the screams anymore.
That gunshot and that horrible scream. Those horrible yellow eyes.
The scream. To this day.
Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live.
There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence. I don't know what it means. Better find out and quick.
I don't know what the contradiction is. Fired twice.
Yep. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot?
Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream, and everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came.
I see. No, Your Honor, unfortunately, you don't. Just look at this file one more time.
Look at this file!
This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless
oh my God.
you can tell us what page it's on.
Such a
Page
weak argument.
394.
Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. It was fired twice, right, Sean? Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, As I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? I don't really.
Don't you, though?
Do I, though?
Yes. I think so. This depends on what's in your court record. Because you pointed something out towards the beginning. When you saw this item.
Oh!
Did it come back to you?
Well, I saw it.
Oh, the shot in the window.
Yep.
Through the window. Actually, I was thinking about the shot in his chest, but okay, fine.
Your Honor, I think I'll be able to show you proof. What? Impossible!